There were 6 of us gathered at the table. Crystal glasses sparkling under soft lights, silverware glinting on flawless linen. The kind of place that whispered money and power. My wife sat beside me, her sister directly across. It was our 12th wedding anniversary. My parents had sent flowers. Her father raised a toast to us. On the surface, everything appeared perfect. But perfection always has a feel, a rhythm, and that night it was off. I excused myself, not because I had to, but because I needed space. Something had been gnawing at me for weeks. Late-night calls, whispered conversations, long showers, her touch growing colder, her smile feeling rehearsed. I told myself it was just my mind playing tricks, until I walked back from the hallway and glanced through the glass wall of the dining area. She leaned forward, speaking under her breath. Her fingers hovered above my glass briefly, almost like performing a sleight of hand. It was subtle, but I saw enough. When I returned, I slipped back into the role, smiling, laughing, pretending. At one point, as the waiter cleared the plates, I casually switched our glasses. Hers went to her sister. I wasn't concerned whether she drank it or not. Her sister never liked me. Every family event was another jab, each insult wrapped in passive-aggressive humor, each one leaving invisible bruises. She once smirked and told me I'd never measure up. I remembered that smirk as I watched her lift a glass and take a sip. The clock started ticking. I married who I believed was my soulmate, a woman who danced barefoot in rainstorms, who cried over documentaries, who laughed at my worst impressions. We built a life, a house, a dog, memories. But even gold dulls when left unattended. The shift wasn't sudden. It crept in slowly. Fewer questions about my day, nights spent working late, her phone always locked. I convinced myself it was routine, that all couples hit rough patches. But love doesn't vanish without a cause. Then one night, in her sleep, she whispered another man's name. I didn't confront her. I watched. I tracked phone records, banking activity, installed a small camera inside the guest room smoke detector. I watched as she brought him into our home, into our bed. She thought she was careful. She wasn't careful enough. I could have exploded, yelled, thrown accusations. But I believe in precision, not chaos. So I stayed silent. I slept beside her, held her hand, let her believe she was safe, all while quietly constructing my case. I shifted assets, moved the house deed into a trust, transferred funds to private accounts. I had a lawyer ready before the first text even arrived. I collected evidence, photos, video recordings, messages, all neatly organized on a flash drive marked simply, Truth. That night, while dining with her family, that flash drive was in my pocket. Another copy was already secured with my attorney. 25 minutes after the glasses were swapped, her sister began to sweat and blink excessively. She tried to stand but collapsed into her chair before vomiting violently across the pristine tablecloth. Chaos unfolded. Waiters hurried over. Her father cursed under his breath. My wife's eyes went wide, real fear flashing across her face for the first time in months. I stood up, calm and steady, calling for medical help. My voice carried the kind of authority people instinctively trust. Paramedics arrived swiftly, questioning us. I answered carefully, mentioning possible adverse reactions to new medications her sister was on. My wife stumbled over her words. I watched her unravel quietly. Her sister was discharged the next day, dehydrated but stable. That night, my wife never came home. She left a message. I didn't listen. Instead, I hand-delivered the flash drive to her father, a military man, decorated, disciplined, proud. When he opened the files, watched the videos, read the messages, saw the insurance policy changes, his face crumbled. The betrayal shattered something inside him. He didn't call her afterward. The divorce was fast, clean. She couldn't contest it. There was nothing left for her to stand on. The trust owned the house. The private accounts safeguarded the money. The prenup she had insisted was unnecessary, voided under criminal intent. She lost everything. Her father severed ties. Her sister, humiliated, relocated and never spoke to her again. The man she was seeing, His wife pressed charges. His career was obliterated within a week. The final time I saw my wife, we sat across from each other in a courthouse hallway. She looked hollow, barefaced, trembling, desperate. She reached for my hand. I didn't move. My voice was steady as I said, "Next time, stir the drink better." Sometimes, I still replay that moment when she tried to slip something into my glass. The subtle turn of her wrist, the calculation in her eyes. That's what haunts me, not the betrayal, but the certainty she had that it would work, that I would sip, collapse, and she would be left a grieving widow, a tragic figure. But she underestimated quiet patience. She never understood that justice doesn't always arrive with a roar. Sometimes,